So, hello everyone. Today we see some more problems of hydrogen peroxide, that is in terms of volume strength. Okay, so see the one. So, calculate the volume strength of hydrogen peroxide. Solution if so, here information that 50 ml of H2O2 solution is diluted with 50 milliliter of water. Means what is the total solution? So they are taking total 100 milliliter of solution. So it is a 50 milliliter of hydrogen peroxide solution is added by 50 milliliter of water. So means the solution is diluted with water. So next, so from that 100 milliliter of solution, 20 milliliter of same this diluted solution is required. 40 milliliter of m by 60. M by 60 means it is nothing but 1 by 60 molarity. 1 by 60 molarity generally is given. M by 60 potassium dichromate solution in presence of H2SO4. H2SO4 in presence means it is acidic medium. So for complete reaction, so మనం ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాల్సింది ఏంటంటే, సో స్టార్టింగ్ తీసుకున్న సొల్యూషన్ ఏంటిది 50 milliliter ఆఫ్ హైడ్రోజన్ పెరాక్సైడ్. ఇనీషియల్గా తీసుకున్న 50 milliliter ఆఫ్ హైడ్రోజన్ పెరాక్సైడ్ వాల్యూమ్ స్ట్రెంత్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాలి. సో దాన్ని డిఫరెంట్ మోడిఫికేషన్స్లో తీసుకొచ్చారు. ఆ 50 ml లాగా ఉంచకుండా ఇంకో 50 ml వాటర్ యాడ్ చేసారు. సో టోటల్ అక్కడ వాల్యూమ్ ఎంత అయింది, 100 milliliter అయిపోయింది. సో డైల్యూట్ అయిపోయింది, మీన్స్ ఇట్స్ కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్ డిక్రీజ్డ్. సో ఆ డిక్రీజ్ కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్ అయిన సొల్యూషన్ టోటల్ 100 milliliter. From that 100 milliliter solution, only 20 milliliter is used. Only 20 milliliter was required to complete neutralize, to complete make the reaction with 40 milliliter of m by 60 K2Cr2O7 solution. సో అంటే యాక్చువల్గా మనం ఫస్ట్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాల్సింది ఇనీషియల్ సొల్యూషన్, అంటే ఇనీషియల్ ఇచ్చిన 50 mlకి ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాలి. సో ఇచ్చిన దీంతో రియాక్షన్ కంప్లీట్ అయింది కాబట్టి వీ కెన్ రైట్ మిల్లీ ఈక్వలెంట్ ఆఫ్ H2O2 ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ ఈక్వల్ టు మిల్లీ ఈక్వలెంట్ ఆఫ్ పొటాషియం డైక్రోమేట్. ఓకే, అయితే మనం ఇప్పుడు చేసే ప్రాబ్లం దేనికంటే, డైల్యూట్ చేసిన తర్వాత వచ్చిన 100 ml సొల్యూషన్లో ఇట్ ఈజ్ యూజ్డ్ ఫర్ ద రియాక్షన్. కాబట్టి మనం ఇప్పుడు చేసే నార్మాలిటీ క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ దేనికంటే, వీఆర్ క్యాలిక్యులేటింగ్ ఇట్ ఫర్ ఆఫ్టర్ డైల్యూషన్. సో here main important we can write so milli equivalents of hydrogen peroxide exactly equal to the milli equivalents of potassium dichromate in acidic medium. It's okay. So we are equalizing milli equivalent of hydrogen peroxide means ఇక్కడ మనకి 2 హైడ్రోజన్ పెరాక్సైడ్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ఒకటి బిఫోర్ డైల్యూషన్, ఒకటి ఆఫ్టర్ డైల్యూషన్. సో రియాక్షన్ అయ్యేది ఏంటిది, ఆఫ్టర్ డైల్యూషన్. కాబట్టి here we are calculating the normality of hydrogen peroxide which is after dilution formed. Okay, so normality into volume, same is normality into volume. What is the normality of this hydrogen peroxide solution? So we have to find this. How much volume? So the total 100 ml solution ఉంది అక్కడ, బట్ ఈ K2Cr2O7కి రియాక్షన్ చేయడానికి how much hydrogen peroxide is required? Only 20 milliliter is used in the reaction. So what is this normality? We know the relation normality equal molarity into n factor. So molarity given how much? 1 by 60. What is n factor? So K2Cr2O7, how it changes in acidic medium, we know that. So actually basic medium లేదు మనకి, potassium dichromate Cr2O7 minus 2 లో K2Cr2O7 minus 2, దీంట్లో reacted ion Cr2O7 minus 2 changes to 2Cr plus 3. Okay, means 2Cr plus 3, not 6. Already here chromium plus 6, 2 chromiums are plus 6, 2 plus 6, second chromium also plus 6, 2 plus 3, plus 6, 2 plus 3, plus 6, 2 plus 3 means so that taking of 6 electrons. Okay, here gaining of 6 electron takes place, n factor is 6. So the number of electrons 6. That's what is the value? Given value 40. Okay. So here 6 cancelled, 0 get cancelled. So n equal to 1 by 5 means 0.2 normality. So this 0.2 normality ఏ హైడ్రోజన్ పెరాక్సైడ్ ది డైల్యూట్ అయిన తర్వాత ఫామ్ అయిన 100 మిల్లీలీటర్ హైడ్రోజన్ పెరాక్సైడ్ ది ఇది మనం ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాల్సింది నార్మాలిటీ వాల్యూమ్స్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయాల్సింది ఇనీషియల్ హైడ్రోజన్ పెరాక్సైడ్కి నార్మాలిటీ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాలి. అంటే ఇనీషియల్ హైడ్రోజన్ పెరాక్సైడ్కి నార్మాలిటీ తెలిస్తేనే వీఆర్ ఏబుల్ టు క్యాలిక్యులేట్ ద వాల్యూమ్ స్ట్రెంత్ ఆఫ్ ఇనీషియల్ హైడ్రోజన్ పెరాక్సైడ్. అంటే టోటల్గా మనం ప్రాబ్లం రివర్స్లో వెళ్తున్నాం. ఓకే, so here we can write so normal. So this is normality. This is for diluted hydrogen peroxide, but we have to calculate it for before the dilution. So means just I am taking after dilution. So after dilution, normality of hydrogen peroxide, I am taking it as N2. Okay, so that is we calculated as 0.2. So what is the volume after the dilution? 100 milliliter. So what is the normality before the dilution? We don't know. Actually we have to calculate it. So generally మనం ఇనీషియల్ ఇస్తే ఫైనల్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేస్తాం. ఇక్కడ నీకు ఫైనల్కి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇచ్చాడు. సో ఫైనల్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయడానికి క్లూ ఇచ్చాడు. ఆ ఫైనల్ది క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసి ఇనీషియల్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేస్తున్నాం. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ఇనీషియల్ వాల్యూ? we know 50 ml. So 50 ml కి ఇంకో 50 ml యాడ్ చేస్తే అది 100 అయింది. ఓకే, సో now what is the same solution? Concentration is changed by dilution. Also what is the relation? That is N1V1 equal to N2V2. I have to find N1. So V1 is exactly 50 is given. N2 0.2 calculated, V2. Okay. So that is equal to 0.4. So normality. Normality of initial hydrogen peroxide is 0.4. So normality వచ్చిందంటే automatically we are able to calculate the strength. Okay, so how we calculate the strength? Normality 0.4 means we know that one normality of hydrogen peroxide is equal to how many volumes? We have a fixed relation. So what was that? 5.6 volume strength. Volume strength nothing but volumes under that. Okay, so then what about 0.4 normality of hydrogen peroxide is equal to how much volume strength? 6 by 1, so 56.4, 2.24. Okay, 2.24 volumes of hydrogen peroxide. Okay, see the next one. Here 20 milliliter of acidified means acidic medium 3 normality hydrogen peroxide is reacted with the potassium permanganate solution till there is a light tint of purple color means there is a complete reaction takes place. So calculate the volume of O2 produced at STP. Okay, so we know that volume of oxygen, we have to know the volume strength. So we have a formula that volume of oxygen released equal to, what is the formula? Volume of hydrogen peroxide into volume strength. Volume of oxygen is equal to volume of hydrogen peroxide into volume strength of hydrogen peroxide. Is basic formula. So ikkada manaki volume strength identify cheyali. 20 ml 3 normality ichindi. So 3 normality ante in terms of strength lo convert cheyandi. We know that 1 normality of H2O2, 1 normality H2O2 ante, that is we know that 5.6 volumes of oxygen. So 5.6 volumes of hydrogen peroxide. So actually 5.6 volumes hydrogen peroxide endukantunnamante, nothing but it releases 5.6 volume of oxygen. Okay, here 5.6 volume strength oxygen. Okay, you can write volume strength hydrogen peroxide, we know that. So then what about 3n normality of hydrogen peroxide is how much volume strength? So is 15. How much we are getting? We are getting 16.8. 16.8 volumes of H2O2. So volume strength ochindante we are able to find the volume of oxygen. Okay. So volume of oxygen equal what? We have the formula. Volume of oxygen is equal to volume of hydrogen peroxide into volume strength. Volume strength of hydrogen peroxide. So what is the volume of hydrogen peroxide is taken? So 20 milliliter. And what is its power? Its power means so in the problem it is given not 220, it is given 200. Okay. Okay, we can do with 20 also. So 200, what the strength we calculated it as 16.8. So after all calculation we will get 3360 milliliter. So this is exactly volume of oxygen. So ikkada vachina volume entante volume of oxygen produced by hydrogen peroxide. Only hydrogen peroxide normality find out chestam. Normality given. Ichina normality base cheskoni we calculated volume strength. So volume strength base cheskoni we calculated volume of oxygen produced by hydrogen peroxide. It is reacted with actually potassium permanganate. So ippadaaka manam calculation lo there is no involvement of potassium permanganate. So this hydrogen peroxide releases this much of oxygen, and the same reaction it reacts with potassium permanganate. So already we know what is potassium permanganate. It is a good oxidizing agent. Potassium permanganate in any medium, acidic medium, basic medium, neutral medium. Actually it is given here acidic medium, but whatever the medium, the KMnO4 works as a good oxidizing agent. Good oxidizing agent means it always releases oxygen. Okay, so other compound oxidized stress means it releases oxygens. Okay, so how much oxygen releases ante, so it is found that the same value of oxygen will be released. Okay, actually it is the experimental fact that the same volume of hydrogen peroxide, same volume of oxygen will be produced. So Kmn. For this is the main point. So therefore, volume of total oxygen released. Okay, volume of total oxygen produced in the reaction is 60. Same. We have 6720 milliliters. Okay, or it can be written as 6.7 liters. Okay, so it's based on the question and the multiple choice question answers. Okay, see the one more. Okay, the 5.1 gram sample of hydrogen peroxide, 5.1 gram sample of hydrogen peroxide solution. So here not given the weight of hydrogen peroxide, it is given the weight of hydrogen peroxide solution. Okay, so that is 5.1 gram of H2O2 solution, so containing X% of H2O2 by weight. Means here concentration given in terms of by weight. We know the concentrations normality, molarity, by weight, by volume, or weight by volume. So different project. Here it is given in terms of by weight, which is requires X milliliter of potassium dichromate solution for complete oxidation, complete nothing but reaction in acidic medium. So find the molarity of KMnO4. So given clue about hydrogen peroxide clue ichindi. So that is also not given directly. So adi kuda manaki just weight of solution ichindi. But weight of solution nunchi మనం weight of hydrogen peroxide find out చేయాలి. Just listen carefully. ఇక్కడ మనకి find out చేయాల్సింది about potassium permanganate. So the reaction nothing but clue is given, means extra information is given about hydrogen peroxide. So extra information కూడా it is not sufficient. So direct గా మనం సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేయడానికి లేదు అక్కడ, because it is given in terms of weight of solution ఇచ్చుడు. ఇప్పుడు weight of solution లో how much hydrogen peroxide ఉందో find out చేయాలి. How much hydrogen peroxide తోని we have to calculate the normality. So then with the help of that normality we have to calculate the normality of K2Cr2O7. Next, normality of K2Cr2O7 and in fact we just కొని final గా molarity find out చేయాలి. Okay, see, so first normal గా so reaction కాబట్టి we can write the milli equivalence of hydrogen peroxide is exactly equal to the milli equivalence of potassium permanganate. So the reaction takes place, normality into its value is normality into value. So ikkada normality, we don't know the normality of hydrogen peroxide. So e n that we have to calculate. Then its value is specific is mentioned. So there is no exact value is also given for it. Okay. So next 5.1 gram of solution is given and it is given that X%. So the other clue is given for hydrogen peroxide is what is the type of hydrogen peroxide given? X% by weight of hydrogen peroxide. So by weight, for example 20% by weight meaning entity. So if you take the 100 grams of a solution, so 20 gram of that solute is present. For example 40% by weight solution means if you do 100 gram solution తీసుకుంటే దాంట్లో 40 grams solute ఉంటుంది. In the same way ఇది ఏ type of hydrogen peroxide solution? X% solution. X% solution అంటే మీనింగ్ ఏంటిది? If you take 100 gram of the solution, there is X grams of hydrogen peroxide solution. X gram of hydrogen peroxide is present. X% and X% by weight అంటే meaning 100 gram of solution లో x grams of solute ఉంటాయి. Means here we can say, so it is equation 1, or you can do the right side. X percent by weight. First thing you are writing the main okay, say it is the equation 1. X percent by weight means what? X percent by weight hydrogen peroxide solution under. So it implies that 100 grams of solution, 100 gram of solution, so contain x gram hydrogen peroxide. So 20% 20 gram, 30 40 into 40 30 into 30. ఇక్కడ x percent అన్నట్టు కాబట్టి 100 grams of total solution తీసుకుంటే దాంట్లో x grams of hydrogen peroxide dissolve అవుతుంది. మనకి ఇచ్చిన శాంపిల్ ఏంటిది? 5.1 గ్రామ్ ఆఫ్ శాంపిల్, 5.1 గ్రామ్ ఆఫ్ హైడ్రోజన్ పెరాక్సైడ్ ఇచ్చున్నాయి. So 5.1 gram contain how much hydrogen peroxide? So for 5.1 into x by 100 grams of hydrogen peroxide. So in the hydrogen peroxide ఉంది. Okay. So ఇప్పుడు equation 1 లో find substitute చేద్దాం. How it is useful అంటే it is useful to calculate the normality. Okay. So equation 1 లో substitute చేయండి. So normality, again we know the normality means weight by gram equivalent weight, so 1000 by volume in milliliters. So again it's normal to have to find. So what is the volume of potassium permanganate is given, it also given x milliliter equations for x. So weight of hydrogen peroxide how much? So it is given 5.1 into x by 100. It is the weight by equivalent weight. So equivalent weight means we know that molecular weight by n factor. Molecular weight of the hydrogen peroxide is 34. What is the n factor for it? We know that it can release 2 H plus ions. So n factor 2. So it is a 34 by 2 equivalent weight. Means weight by gram equivalent weight 1000 normality into x. Okay. So it is 5.1 weight by gram. Okay, let's see. So here x get cancelled. So from this we can get what is the normality. Okay. So here it will be better. So it's a 51, 17, so it's a 51. So I am getting exactly 3. Okay. So normality of KMnO4 is 3. Normality of potassium permanganate solution is 3 in acidic medium. So then what about molarity? Molarity is equal to always normality by n factor. Molarity 3, sorry, normality 3. What is n factor? So in acidic medium, what is n factor? In acidic medium we know that potassium permanganate MnO4 minus is changed to Mn plus 2. So have to remember, for many problems we done of potassium permanganate in acidic medium, it takes 5 electrons. Okay, so by 5. So that is equal to 0.6 moles per liter. So this is the molarity of potassium permanganate. Okay, see the last one in volume strength of hydrogen peroxide. See here 50 milliliter of ozone, we know the O3 at STP were passed through 50 milliliter 5 volumes hydrogen peroxide. Here 5 volumes means what type of hydrogen peroxide? That తీసుకున్న sample of hydrogen peroxide ఏంటంటే 5 volumes ఉన్న hydrogen peroxide. How much they took? 50 milliliter is reacted with 50 milliliter of ozone. Then what is the volume strength of hydrogen peroxide after the completion of reaction? So we know that hydrogen peroxide is a good oxidizing agent and also works as a reducing agent. Here O3 ozone, so ozone is changed into O2, means ozone is reduced by hydrogen peroxide into oxygen. Okay, so with the help of that we do the reaction. So here main important, so what is the result? So initial the hydrogen peroxide can produce how much hydrogen peroxide chuddam. Okay, so initially it is given that so volume of oxygen, we have to find this. So actually before the reaction the volume of oxygen can be liberated by hydrogen peroxide is equal, we know that. What is the formula? Volume of hydrogen peroxide and volume strength of hydrogen peroxide. So what is the volume of is taken 50. What is the volume strength? 5. Means there is a releasing of 250 milliliter. Means so direct the hydrogen peroxide only sample can release on its decomposition, it release 250 milliliter of oxygen. So the question is after the reaction how much hydrogen can be released, sorry, how much oxygen can be released from this sample. అంటే దీని వాల్యూమ్ స్ట్రెంత్ ఏమవుతుందంటే రియాక్షన్ అయిపోతే ఆటోమేటిక్గా కొంచెం యూజ్ అయిపోతుంది కదా. ఓకే, సో దట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు రిమూవ్ సమ్ ఆఫ్ ఆక్సిజన్. So we'll take it as a first step. Now we'll do the second step. So if you see the reaction, O3 is changed to O, and we can write a nascent oxygen, and hydrogen peroxide is also formed. So on overall reaction, this half mole, actually we can write half O2, and forming one O2 molecules. Just for understanding only we are writing like this. Or we can write half O2 and total 1 mole of oxygen. So ఇక్కడ form an oxygen. Why you are separating these reactions అంటే ఇక్కడ form an oxygen లో the half part is from ozone. Half part is from ozone and other half part is from hydrogen peroxide. and ఇక్కడ రిలీజ్ అయ్యే ఆక్సిజన్లో half part is obtained in the reaction. నార్మల్గా హైడ్రోజన్ పెరాక్సైడ్ ఒకటి ఇండిపెండెంట్గా డీకంపోజ్ అవుతే ఇట్ కెన్ రిలీజ్ 250 milliliter ఆఫ్ హైడ్రోజన్ పెరాక్సైడ్. కానీ ఇన్ ద ఓజోన్ రియాక్షన్, విత్ ఓజోన్ రియాక్షన్లో ఎంత ఆక్సిజన్ రిలీజ్ అవుతుందంటే ఇక్కడ సో ఫార్మ్ అయిన ఆక్సిజన్లో 50% ఈజ్ ఫ్రమ్ ఓజోన్, అదర్ 50% ఈజ్ ఫ్రమ్ H2O. ఓకే, సో దేర్ ఫోర్ హియర్ వీ కెన్ రైట్ ఇట్స్ ఎ ఇంపార్టెంట్ స్టెప్. So what is the volume of hydrogen? So what is the volume of O2 here? It is exactly 50 milliliter because 50 milliliter is reacted and 50 milliliter will be formed here. So in the formed 50 milliliter oxygen, that is O2 formed, thus we are writing molecular oxygen. We know 50% from hydrogen peroxide, 50% from ozone. So oxygen 25 milliliter is from hydrogen peroxide and 25 milliliter from ozone. అంటే ఈ హైడ్రోజన్ పెరాక్సైడ్ యాక్చువల్గా హైడ్రోజన్ పెరాక్సైడ్ మనకి ఇచ్చిన శాంపిల్కి 250 milliliter ఆఫ్ ఆక్సిజన్ రిలీజ్ అవ్వాలి. బట్ హౌ మచ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ యూజ్డ్ ఇన్ ద రియాక్షన్? In the reaction, 25 milliliter of oxygen, 25 milliliter of oxygen is used in the reaction with ozone. So therefore, after the reaction, how much O2 can be released? So the balance O2 is equal to 250 minus 25. So that is 225 milliliter of oxygen. So ఈ 25 milliliter of oxygen సో మనకు వాల్యూమ్ వచ్చింది. సో మళ్ళీ మనకు క్వశ్చన్లో ఏంటంటే అగైన్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద వాల్యూమ్ ఆఫ్ ఆక్సిజన్ అడగలేము, వాట్ ఈస్ ద వాల్యూమ్ స్ట్రెంగ్త్ ఆఫ్ హైడ్రోజన్ పెరాక్సైడ్ అన్నాడు. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మళ్ళీ అగైన్ స్టార్టింగ్ తీసుకున్న ఫార్ములా బేస్ చేసుకొని వాల్యూమ్ యూజ్ చేసుకొని వాల్యూమ్ స్ట్రెంగ్త్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేద్దాం. ఓకే, we know that volume of oxygen is equal to volume of hydrogen peroxide volume strength of hydrogen peroxide. ఇక్కడ వాల్యూమ్ ఆఫ్ ఆక్సిజన్ వచ్చింది మనకి 225. సో వాల్యూమ్ ఆఫ్ hydrogen peroxide, so after completion of the reaction, same, we have to find out in the same solution. Volume strength so exactly equal to on the overall calculation it's become approximately exactly 4.5. Means the volume strength of hydrogen peroxide sample become 4.5 after losing some oxygen with the reaction of ozone. Okay, starting length unde 5 volume strength unde, so కొంత ఆక్సిజన్ లాస్ అయిపోయింది రియాక్షన్లో కాబట్టి సో ఆఫ్టర్ ద కంప్లీషన్ ఆఫ్ రియాక్షన్ అంత ఆక్సిజన్ని ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేయలేదు అది. ఓకే, some oxygen is lost in the reaction. Okay, so finally it's simply we know that normal concentration decreases kada. Okay, reaction lo participate ayindante the concentration decrease avudhu. Here also volume strength also nothing but is the one of the expression method to explain to indicate the concentration of hydrogen peroxide. Starting 5 unde after completion of the reaction koncham decrease ayindi, there become 4.5 volumes of hydrogen peroxide. Okay, so practice the many times as possible as. Okay, so minimum 3 times you have to practice these questions. There is not a big number of questions are there, very less number of questions are there, but it is not we can't say that the same question will be in the exams. We have to know the technique. So to technique to proceed nothing but to start the formula. Okay,